Good afternoon, students. Today we are going to discuss about our post-fertilization changes. Actually, the sexual reproduction has been done in three stages, namely pre-fertilization changes, fertilization, and post-fertilization changes. So, after fertilization, what do you mean by fertilization? Fusion of male and female gametes to form zygote and endosperm. Then, what is happening afterwards? That is called post-fertilization changes. For example, this is a flower, this is calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. So, if you see this flower alone, I shall show you. See here, this is calyx, this is corolla, these are androecium, this is gynoecium. So, after fertilization, this calyx and corolla wither away. That means they may fall down. Then what will happen? This is ovary, style, stigma. This ovary become fruit after fertilization. Inside the ovule, this ovule become into seed. Usually we have seen in earlier classes, the ovule is covered by two integuments. This integuments will be become into seed coat. So this is a main change will be takes place after fertilization. So various stages in this complete diagram we can see. See here, this is the fertilization. During this fertilization, fusion of male and female gametes together, as well as triple fusion might be takes place. After double fertilization, so the next stage is this calyx corolla will be wither away. This ovary become into fruit inside ovule or become into seed. See here, inside the seed, this zygote develop into embryo, then the primary endosperm become endosperm later on. Then this entire ovary become into fruit. Inside the fruit, seeds are there. If you see inside the seed, various parts. That means the tip-like part is called radicle. This is become a root later on. Inside, a small plant-like structure might be available. I shall explain in a big size. See here. So this tip-like structure is called radicle. This radicle become roots later on, and small plantlet-like structure which is present inside. So this is actual embryo. So this will become plumule. The plumule will become into shoot system. The radicle become into root system. Both are joined together in the embryonal axis by two cotyledons. There are two cotyledons are there. These cotyledons are covered by a protecting coat. This is called, originally it is called integument. The integuments become into seed coat. The seed coat is divided into two types. One is outer thick, outer integument become into testa. The inner integument become into tegmen. So in such a way, the seeds will be converted. So the ovary will become into fruit and ovule become into seed. Then the seed, if it is dropped down on the soil, they will develop into new plant. This is the life cycle of the plant will be takes place due to sexual reproduction. In some rare plant or some rare flower, some of the pods like a calyx, corolla will be persistent. That means they will not wither away, they will not fall down. In some cases, after fertilization, as I said just now, these are regular changes. Some exceptional changes also might be there in some of the fruits. Suppose if you see in the fruit like apple, Pyrus malus, it is a scientific name of apple. If you see the Pyrus malus like apple, it is not a real fruit. Originally real fruit is present at the center. The outer fleshy part is nothing but receptacle. What do you mean by receptacle? This thalamus is called receptacle. But in apple fruit, we are eating the edible part, that is not fruit, real fruit. It is false fruit because this, so originally the ovary should develop into fruit. This is original fruit. Ovule become into seed. But in apple, this thalamus become into fleshy fruits. These surrounds the original fruit. So original fruit is present at the center. It is very hard to eat whenever we are eating apple. So the original fruit is not original ovary, that is thalamus. This thalamus become into fruit like apple. Then some of the fruit like brinjal, Solanum melanchina. Solanum melanchina is nothing but brinjal. So brinjal, if you see, there is a hook-like structure might be there. This is calyx. So that is called persistent calyx. And some other fruit like physalis. Physalis means in Tamil, this is called sodakatakali. In Tamil, you may call this sodakatakali. It is physalis. Physalis minima. So this is original fruit. Inside the fruit, seeds might be there. You might have eaten earlier in your small while you are being in small children. So this is physalis fruit. Inside seed might be there. This is completely covered by calyx. This is persistent calyx. This calyx is entirely covered this fruit. So this is a specialized characteristic features of certain rare occasion after post-fertilization. Then see here, this is you might have seen Anacardium occidentale, cashew. So cashew fruit, you can see, it is not real fruit. Real fruit is, this is a real fruit. The scientific name of this date fruit, cashew is nothing but Anacardium occidentale. So this is pedicel. The pedicel become into fleshy, juicy, edible fruit. Actually it is not fruit. It is not real fruit. It is false fruit. Original fruit is this one, nut. This nut is original fruit. Inside the nut, we can see the seed. So that is original fruit and seed. But this is the pedicel. The stalk of the flower become into a fleshy fruit. So this is also not a true fruit. So next we can see another important modification. So this is a specialized seed. Originally, inside seeds are there. This is seed coat, integument. So integument become into seed coat. The tip of the integument, that is near to the micropyle, this will become fleshy. This is called caruncle later on. So it is looking very beautiful to see in the seeds of resinous. Resinous means in Tamil, amanakku. We usually call as kotamuttu. So this is resinous communis. In resinous communis, the seed is covered by the integuments, inner integuments as well as outer integuments become testa and tegment. But in the tip of this integument, it is having a fleshy part. This will become into caruncle. So this is a specialized modification after post-fertilization changes in this fruit. So this is a specialized category, certain fruit like Pithecollobium. Pithecollobium means you might have seen in Tamil, Kodukapli. So Kodukapli is a Pithecollobium. Similarly, this is another one fruit you might have seen, Myristica, Kundumuttu, Kundril Mani in Tamil. We used to call Kundril Mani another Kundumuttu. So these are having a specialized part. Originally, the seeds are covered by, inside the ovule, you might have seen the body of the ovule and stalk-like part is called as funicle or funiculus. The funicles become into a fleshy part. This is called aril. In Pithecollobium, Pithecollobium means Kodukapli. So this is a specialized part of, the funiculus become fleshy. Usually they used to be fall down in regular usual fruits, but these are some rare occasions. So the fertilization or post-fertilization changes is entirely different. Okay, what is happening after fertilization originally? So originally after fertilization, yesterday we have seen in the other class, what happened? The male, there are two male gametes might be there. In fertilization we have seen there are two male gametes. So this is pollen grain. It is producing pollen tube. Inside the pollen tube there are two male gametes are there. One of the male gamete will be fused with egg cell to form zygote. The zygote become into embryo. So this is after fertilization. Then second male gamete is there. The second male gamete is fused with polar nuclei to form triple fusion, to form triploid primary endosperm nucleus. This will become endosperm later on. So embryo and endosperm which are formed inside the ovule. So this is a real changes after post-fertilization. So this will become into the zygote, develop into embryo become into future plant later on. Then this endosperm is acting like a nutritive tissue for the developing embryo. So the endosperm will used to be divided. So after fertilization, this endosperm divide mitotically before the zygote divide. So before the zygote division, only the endosperm had to be divided first. Then this endosperm is divided to produce primary endosperm nucleus. Then the primary endosperm nucleus to become endosperm. Why it is divided earlier than egg, than zygote? Because the zygote, if it is divided, they can produce embryo. The embryo need food material. The food material will be supplied by this endosperm. So first endosperm divide to, this primary endosperm nucleus divide to produce endosperm. Then the zygote will be divide to produce embryo. So we can see this post-fertilization changes which takes place inside. Next we are going to see about endosperm. As I said just now, endosperm are nothing but how the endosperm form. One of the male gamete from pollen tube is fused with polar nuclei to form primary endosperm. The primary endosperm will divide to produce endosperm. Divide to produce by mitotic cell division to form endosperm. So it is a nutritive tissue for the embryo. Basically, these endosperms are divided into three categories, namely nuclear endosperm, cellular endosperm, and halobial endosperm. What is meant by nuclear endosperm? So after fusion or triple fusion, the primary endosperm nucleus divide mitotically to produce two nuclei. The two nuclei will not form cell wall. Without forming cell wall, only nuclei used to be formed. Then these two nuclei further mitotic division to produce 4. 4 become 8. 8 become 16. In such a manner, as many number of nuclei will be formed without any cell wall. So this endosperm are called as nuclear endosperm. On the other hand, the second category is called cellular endosperm. What is cellular endosperm? The primary endosperm nucleus pen will divide mitotically to produce one cell become into two cells. Immediately the two nuclei are surrounded by cell wall. Cell wall may be formed. Then the two cell were further divided into 4 cells. The 4 cells become into 8. Similarly, geometrical progression, the cell division might be takes place inside the primary endosperm nucleus to form a huge amount of endosperm with the nuclei are covered by or surrounded by cell wall. These type of endosperm are called as cellular endosperm. The previous one is only nuclei are formed, there is no cell wall is produced. These are called as nuclear endosperm. If cell wall is formed, then this is called cellular endosperm. The third category is called halobial endosperm. Halobial endosperm is nothing but both combined together. That means it is a mixture between nuclear endosperm as well as cellular endosperm. If you see towards the microbial end, the primary endosperm nucleus divide to produce one cell into 2, 2 cell will become into 4. In such a way, completely cellular endosperm will be formed. In the chalazoid, completely primary endosperm nucleus divide to produce nuclei only. That means these consist of both nuclear endosperm as well as cellular endosperm. I shall tell you best example for both nuclear and cellular endosperm. If you cut a coconut, inside coconut milk or fruit, fluid might be there. The fluid is nothing but nuclear endosperm. The white color part is nothing but cellular endosperm. This is best example for these category. Apart from these three, one more endosperm might be there in Areca catechu, Pak in Tamil. So in Areca catechu, ruminant endosperm. So this is different types of endosperm. There is no regular formation. It is irregular formation of this endosperm. Such a type of endosperm are called as ruminate endosperm. Now the endosperm is get ready for development of embryo. Now we will see about embryo, how the embryo will be developed. So this is the formation of embryo development. Once we shall see here. So after fusion of male and female gamete to form zygote, then zygote will be divided horizontally to produce two cell stage. This is called two cell pro-embryo. One is on the upper region, it is called terminal cell, and the lower region it is called basal cell. So there are two cells may be formed in two cell pro-embryo. Then later on, this terminal cell are divided vertically and the basal cell divided horizontally to produce four cell pro-embryo. So this will become embryonal mass, this will become suspensor later on. Then the next stage is globular embryo. Globular embryo, if you see, these two cell stage further divided to produce four cell stage to form embryonal mass. In the lower part become into suspensor. In between the suspensor and the embryonal mass, there is a huge layer of cell is called hypophysis. This is called globular embryo. So next stage is called heart-shaped embryo. So this is the heart-shaped embryo stage. The globular embryo mass divided mitotically to produce huge mass of embryo size. It is become into looking like a heart-shaped structure. That is why this is called heart-shaped embryo. So this is embryonal masses. This is hypophysis. The lower part is called what you call suspensor. Then this heart-shaped embryo become into mature embryo. It is become two cotyledon. In the center, plumule will be there. Opposite, radicle will be there. Radicle will be protected by root cap. Then finally, suspensor. So this is the mature embryo. In between the middle, hypophysis will be there. So this is mature embryo. If it is present located inside the seed, if you see, so this is embryo. These two are cotyledon. This is plumule. This is radicle. This is root cap. Here, this is hypophysis. So this is present inside the seed. So this is integument. This it is called integument. Actually, these are all present inside the seed itself. So that's all about the formation of embryo. So embryo is ready, endosperm is also ready. Now they can develop inside the seed. Then next we are going. Dear students, now we shall see about dicot and monocot seed. So this is dicot seed, size of seed, size of aretinum. So if you see the seed, inside the pod, inside the fruit, the seeds may be attached with a small stalk. That is called funicle. The funicle will be connecting the seed. Later on the funicle will be dropped down or wither away. There is a place which is connecting the funicle at the seed. There is a scare may be formed at this place. This scare place is called hilum. Just below the hilum there is a small pore will be there. This small pore is nothing but micropyle. This micropyle will be enable the exchange of oxygen and water can enter through the seed for seed germination. Right. So this is a seed. The seed is having a tip-like part is called radicle. The radicle become into root system later on. So inside, if you see, this is a seed. The seeds are covered by two covering is called seed coat. The seed coats are formed by integuments. As I said earlier, the outer integument are very thick and hard. This is become into testa later on. So outer integument become into testa after post-fertilization. Then inner integument is also there. The inner integument is very soft and delicate. These are called as tegment. So inside the outer integument, there is inner integument is there, which is formed by inner integument. That is called tegment. So there are two seed coats are present over this seed. They are outer testa, inner tegment. Okay. So inside, if you open a seed, it is having two cotyledons. Inside there is an embryo. So the embryo is having a tip-like structure is called radicle. Just opposite to this tip-like structure is called plumule. So this is called as embryonal axis. This embryonal axis at the center, these are connecting the integument. The point at which the cotyledons are joining the embryonal axis. If you see the embryonal axis, above the embryonal axis up to the plumule, it is called hypocotyl. Just below the embryonal axis, that means up to the tip of the radicle, this is called epicotyl. As I said just now, these cotyledons are fleshy. This cotyledon may be endospermous or non-endospermous. What do you mean by endospermous? This is the embryo which is formed after the zygote. So zygote will become into embryo. Then what happens? The surrounding material will become into endosperm. So when the developing embryo, if it is utilizing or consuming this endosperm, then after the formation of seed, there is no endosperm will be left over. Such a type of seeds are called non-endospermous seed. For example, if you see most of the seeds like pea seeds or pulses, these are all comes under non-endospermous seed. Certain seeds like wheat or maize, such a type of seeds, that they never utilize this endosperm. So they used to be further keep until the seed germination. So these type of seeds are called as endospermous seeds. So the seeds are further divided into endospermous seeds as well as non-endospermous seeds. Okay, so this is the structure of dicot seed. Now we shall see about the monocot seed. So this is paddy seed. Paddy is a calyopsis type of fruit. So this is paddy fruit. This fruit is covered by a coat is called husk. A brown color coat is there. Then two blooms will be there. If you open it, we can see the seed. It is monocotyledon, single seed. The entire seed will be covered by endosperm. These are all endosperm. So this is originally a small size of embryo. In between the embryo and endosperm, there is a layer is there. This is called epithelium. Just after the epithelium, there is a cotyledon. So this is a small single cotyledon. So that is why it is called monocotyledon. The cotyledon is also called a scutellum. So next we can see the embryo. So this is embryo. So this is embryonal axis. This is a tip of plumule, the shoot. Shoot apex or plumule. The plumule will be covered by, there is a coat-like structure. It is called coleoptile. Similarly, here this side, radicle is there. The radicle is covered by root cap. Around the root cap, there is a protective cover. It is called coleorhiza. That means plumule is covered by coleoptile. Then the root radicle is covered by coleorhiza. So in such a way, these embryos are safely protected inside the monocot. Then in between this embryo and endosperm, this scutellum as well as epithelium will be there. The embryo will be developed by getting nutrients from endosperm through this scutellum as well as through epithelium. So this embryo will develop by getting nutrients from this endosperm. So this is the structure of monocot seed. So that's all about monocot seed and dicot seed. So these are all will be takes place after fertilization. Now we shall go to the next category. It is called as apomixis. There are two different types of process, that is called apomixis and amphimixis. What is meant by amphimixis? First I shall explain about amphimixis. So amphimixis is nothing but the reproduction which will be formed by the fusion of male and female gametes. If reproduction is formed or sexual reproduction is formed after the fusion of male and female gametes together to form a zygote, then this is called as amphimixis. What do you mean by apomixis? Apomixis is nothing but it's a process in which reproduction might be takes place without the involvement of union of male and female gamete. That means without fusion of male and female gamete, if there is any reproduction which takes place, then this is called as apomixis. It is very important. 2 mark questions or 3 mark questions. Frequently they used to ask what is apomixis and amphimmixis. So apomixis is nothing but, so this is a reproductive system or process of reproduction which is formed without the fusion of male and female gamete. So amphimmixis means this is a reproduction which is formed after fertilization. That means after fusion of male and female gametes. Then this apomixis is further divided into 2 different types. It is called as recurrent, what do you call it? Recurrent apomixis and non-recurrent apomixis. What do you mean by recurrent apomixis? That means it is producing again and again. Such a type of apomixis is called as recurrent apomixis. It is again divided into 2 types, namely vegetative reproduction and agamospermy. Already we had discussed in detail about the vegetative reproduction area in the very first class itself. I shall tell you about agamospermy. What do you mean by agamospermy? Agamospermy is a reproductive process in which does not involve any meiosis process as well as the fusion of male gametes to form zygamy. So there are 2 important processes should not involve in agamospermy reproduction. So it is a reproduction process in which does not involve meiotic cell division. Second thing, without fusion of male and female gametes to form zygamy. It is further divided into 3 different types, namely adventive embryony, diplospory, apospory. What is adventive embryony? As I said just now, there is no fusion of male and female gamete. By the meantime, there is no meiotic cell division also might be takes place. That means, so this is an embryo which is formed from either nucellus or integument. Nucellus and integument, they will not take place in meiotic process as well as there is no fusion of male and female gamete. That is why it is formed in the sporophytic nature and moreover it is diploid in condition. So as long as it is produced from the diploid cell as well as sporophytic cell, it is also called as sporophytic embryo. So adventive embryony is also called as sporophytic embryony. So next one is called diplospory. What is diplospory? Usually every embryo cell, actually inside the nucleus, there is a single cell, that is archisporial cell. Archisporial cells will be developed into megaspore mother cell. Then megaspore mother cell undergo meiotic cell division to produce embryo cell. But here in diplospory, without formation of any meiotic cell division and forming into embryo sac, the megaspore mother cell itself producing embryo. Such a type of agamospermy is called as diplospory. Okay. Then what is apospory? Apospory is usually meiotic cell division will be takes place. Then as I said just now, without meiotic cell division, please come to the point. Apospory is nothing but the megaspore mother cell undergo meiotic cell division to produce 4 cells. All the 4 cells will be degenerate. But in previous occasion, regular occasions, out of 4 cells, 3 will be degenerate, one will become into the mature or development of embryo cell. But here, all 4 cells completely degenerate, completely disappear or destroy. Then what will happen? Remaining nucellular part will become into embryo. This type of embryo is called apospory. These are all comes under recurrent apomixis. Non-recurrent apomixis also there. Non-recurrent apomixis is nothing but it is a haploid embryo sac. That means after meiotic cell division, this megaspore mother cell become into haploid embryo sac. After meiosis, develop into embryo without fertilization. That means after embryo sac formation, egg cells, cyanogytes, polar nuclei and antipodals, everything will be formed, but there is no fusion of male and female gamete. Such a type of embryo will be formed without fertilization, but meiosis might be takes place. Here there is no meiosis, there is no fertilization, there is no zygamy. But here meiosis takes place. Where in non-recurrent apomixis, meiosis takes place, but all the cells will be degenerate. All the cells will be producing embryo without fertilization. This is called non-recurrent apomixis. That's all about apomixis. Next one is called polyembryony. So next this category is polyembryony. What is polyembryony? Poly, the name itself we can able to understand. Poly means many. Embryony means embryo. That means, so this is a process which is producing many embryos inside the ovary. That means inside the fruit there will be produced a huge number of seeds. How these polyembryony may be occur? Polyembryony may be produced by many methods. That means usually only one embryo will be formed. How? The male and female gamete to produce zygamy, that is called zygote. Zygote develop into embryo. So each and every ovule will produce only one ovary, one embryo. But here many embryos will be produced. How these embryo will be produced? There are many categories. There are 4 different types of category may be there. One by one I shall see. First one is cleavage polyembryony. That means a single embryo will be divided to produce as many number of embryo. That is called cleavage polyembryony. So many embryos will be formed from a single embryo by cleavage. Cleavage means division. So division of embryo will be producing many types of embryo is called cleavage embryony. In orchids, in temperate forest, this will be available. The next one is called formation of embryo by cells of embryo sac other than egg. We have seen inside the embryo sac, egg is there, cyanocytes are there, polar nuclei are there, then antipodals are there. Except the egg cell, cyanocytes, polar nucleus, as well as the antipodals, if they are producing embryo, each and everyone develop into embryo. If the embryos are formed by as many number, then this formation of polyembryony which will be takes place other than egg cell. The next category is development of more than one embryo sac. So as I said earlier, one megaspore mother cell divided into produce 4 usual cell. Out of these 3 degenerate, one will become into embryo sac. So only one embryo sac used to be formed in each and every ovule. But inside the ovule, as many number of embryo sac if it is produced, each and every embryo sac can able to produce as many number of embryo. So polyembryony, many embryo can be produced by as many more number of embryo sac will be developed within a single ovule. So this is another category. So the next one is called, last category is called some sporophylactic cells. For example, in the earlier class we have seen activation. Actually, embryo will be formed by the fusion of male and female gamete. But other than embryo, nucellus, inner integument, outer integument, these are sporophytic cells. These are not divided by meiotic cell division. So that is why it is called as sporophytic cell. These sporophytic cells can able to produce as many number of embryos. So these are called as polyembryony. So that means inside the ovary, more number of ovary can be produced in some rare occasions. They are called as polyembryony. And we shall conclude this unit with parthenocarpy. What is parthenocarpy? Carpy means fruit. Partheno means pseudo or false. False fruit is called parthenocarpy. What is meant by false fruit? Usually, fruits may be formed due to the maturation of ovary after fertilization. Ovule become into seed. But here, fruits like structure, it is not fruit. But we can call it fruit, but originally in science sense, it is not a real fruit. It is a fruit like structure because, so this is a fruit is formed without fusion of male and female gamete. That means without fertilization, if fruit is formed, then this fruit like structure is called parthenocarpic fruit. And inside the fruit, if you see, there is no seeds might be there, or even if it is present, it is completely reduced. We cannot able to see in such a manner. These are completely reduced. Such a type of fruits are called as parthenocarpic fruit or seedless fruit. So these are horticulturally as well as commercially, these are more useful. As well as we can produce sauce, jelly, such a type of material can be produced from this parthenocarpic fruit, like what do you call it? Seedless fruit like grapes, or seedless fruits like papaya, seedless fruits like guava. These types of fruits can be produced parthenocarpy. So this parthenocarpy can be done or can be formed by three methods. One is genetical method, second one is environmental method, and fourth one is chemical method. If it is formed by genetical method, that means due to hybridization techniques or mutation breeding, if there is any parthenocarpy arises, this is called genetic parthenocarpy. Or otherwise environmental condition, due to high temperature or low temperature or fogging. Fogging means complete mist, white color mist will be formed in some occasion during winter season. Similarly frost, it is mist. So in special type of climatic condition or environmental condition which stimulates this parthenocarpic fruit. Such a type of fruits are called as parthenocarpic fruit formed by environmental condition. And the third category of the fruit, parthenocarpic fruit, may be formed by chemical application. Certain hormones like gibberellin and auxins, if you spray on the flower itself, the fruits may be formed without fertilization. Such a type of fruits are called chemically induced parthenocarpy. That's all about this parthenocarpy. So that's all about post-fertilization changes. In the post-fertilization changes, various process, what are the things have been happened after fertilization? There is a tabular column we can see. There is a tabular column is given in your textbook. Once we can go through it. See here. As you know, sepals, petals, stamen, style, stigma, these are all wither away. That means these are all fall off. Then ovary become into fruit, ovule become into seed. Egg cell, egg will become into zygote and develop into embryo. Funicle, usually stalk of the seed. This will be also will be formed. Very rare occasion like a Pithoglobium will be forming like a aerial. Then micropyle. Micropyle is a hole-like structure will be formed in the seed. So micropyle will be continuous. Nucellus. Nucellus will be formed as a perisperm in some seed, not in all seed. Perisperm means some of the endosperm will be stored inside the seed are called as perisperm. Then outer integuments become into, outer seed coat is called testa. Inner integument become into, inner seed coat is called tegmen. The testa is very hard, tegmen is very soft and delicate. Then synergids, synergids become degenerate, that will not be retained for a long time. Then later on, second nucleus become into endosperm. This is the most major important part of seed. This is, endosperm and embryo. Then antipodals, all will be degenerate. These are all the process after fertilization might be takes place. That means these are all the pods will become into after fertilization. That's all about post-fertilization changes. That's all about this unit. Thank you.
Embryo, fruit and seed. Hello children. Today we are going to discuss about embryo. You must be thinking, what is an embryo? As we know that the fertilized egg is called a zygote. When this zygote goes through predominant mode of development, which is also known as embryogeny, it gives rise to an embryo. A typical dicotyledonous embryo is seen in medium longitudinal section drawn. It comprises an embryo axis with two cotyledons attached to it laterally. The portion of embryonal axis above the level of cotyledons is called as epicotyl, and the portion below the level of cotyledons is known as hypocotyl. The epicotyl terminates into plumule, that is known as embryonic shoot, and the hypocotyl in its lower end based radicle, that is known as embryonic root. The main difference between monocotyledon and dicotyledon is that monocotyledon has only one cotyledon and other one has two cotyledons. An embryo has the potentiality to form a complete plant. In angiosperms, the seed is the final product of sexual reproduction. It is often described as a fertilized ovule. Seeds are formed inside fruits. A seed typically consists of seed coat, cotyledons, and an embryonal axis. The cotyledons of the embryo are simple structures, generally thick and swollen due to storage of food reserves, as in legumes. Mature seeds may be non-albuminous or albuminous. Non-albuminous seeds have no residual endosperm as it is completely consumed during embryo development. Example, pea, groundnut. Albuminous seeds retain a part of endosperm as it is not completely used up during embryo development. Example, wheat, maize, barley, castor and sunflower. Occasionally, in some seeds, such as black pepper and pea, remnants of nucellus are also present. This residual, persistent nucellus is the perisperm. A true seed is a fertilized mature ovule that possesses an embryonic plant, stored food, sometimes absent, and a protective coat or coats. However, in a popular sense, the term seed is also applied single-seeded dry fruits like Caryopsis of cereals, Cypressella of the Asteraceae members, etc., and the vegetative propagules, bulbs, pieces of potato, tubers, etc. Following fertilization, growth sets in various parts of the ovule, resulting into a seed. The zygote develops into the embryo. A seed is a base structure of an ovule with some parts lost and some new ones developed. It is seldom that all the ovules in an ovary mature into seeds. For example, in cherry and almond, there are 2 ovules per ovary, but regularly only one matures into seed.